Can I say something? Oh,
Oh, do you want to pause that real quick,
no,
Khalid? Great. Thank you. Evening, everyone. Welcome to Economic Development Culture Committee. My name is Xavier Santiago. I'm the chair of this committee. The meeting is officially called to order at 6:32 p.m. Tonight, we are joined by Khalid Nixon, our assistant district manager, and we also have our new chair, Adem Briha. Adem, would you like to make a few announcements and welcome our members here to start off our year?
well, welcome everybody. I think you're in great hands. I don't need to introduce Xavier. With that said, my announcement's not about the committee specifically. It's about just the virtual participation. So just I know I think Xavier kind of gave a heads up, and the reason I haven't been able to give a formal instruction is because I'm still waiting on a little more clarity from the borough president's office. Um, Open meetings law requires that members who have a qualified form, submit a disability form, are allowed to participate remotely and be marked present. Uh, with that said, if they are seen and heard, meaning their cameras have to be on. This is the law. It's been the law. I think other boards have raised this, and it's become something now that they've realized needs to be addressed. Now, everything is within reason. If you're remote and you have the form in and you need to turn your camera off to go use the restroom or something, that's fine. It's the same way if you were there in person, you had to use the restroom, you wouldn't be there. Retroactively this month, I think I was given guidance that the old rule can be in effect. I'm waiting for clarity on today and tomorrow night's meeting. So I can't make any promises. I'm hoping, and I've asked them to allow me to implement this February 1st. But with that said, I'd strongly advise, I think I see most cameras on, but I'd strongly advise that you put your camera on if it's not on, because I can't promise that you will not be marked absent if I'm given certain guidance, which again, hopefully they'll give me till February 1st to actually start that process. And look, I mean, just so we're all aware, this is a law, but nothing here is meant to be punitive or whatever. It's simply meant to allow us to interact and do our work more effective. I think I've instructed the staff that when we don't have a presentation, to have your screens up so we all feel like we're in the same room together. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really it. And if you don't know how to blur your camera, your background, I mean, put a fake background in and you're worried about privacy. I think most of you know how to do that, but the staff or myself would be happy to instruct you on how to do that. All right. So thank you, Xavier. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Adem. And I think Agata is having some difficulty with her camera. So if you want to privately message her, that'd be greatly appreciated. So with that, in order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. One, no one may speak until granted the floor. Two, CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. To raise your hand through Zoom, click the participant's icon and you will find the raise hand function there. If you have technical difficulty, click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff. Three, members should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. Four, the chat function should only be used for CB11 business or questions about agenda topics. Should not be used. All such remarks should be made on the record when recognized. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Five, when a member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you may unmute yourself so that you may speak. Six, please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Seven, with members of the public, if you have a question or a comment about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. And again, as Adem recommended, if you need to step away, if you have kids like I do, or fur children like I also do, and you need to deal with that, or like you said, use the restroom, you can easily just go off camera. We'll presume you're handling it very quickly and coming back. And for those members of the public or a guest here, please just also to come on camera and imagine we are in the room together at the board office, or when it's full board, the same thing. So we can be seen and heard. Yes, Adem.
Sorry, and vice chairs are responsible, I mean, within reason of kind of monitoring the situation because the chair kind of has to run the meeting. So Anne Marie, for example, this evening, that would be your responsibility, just to make you aware.
Thank you. And with that, we will now call the roll. Committee members, you may unmute yourselves to answer present when your name is called. Khalid?
Okay, yes, committee members. There are 9 total for this committee. 5 is needed for quorum. Rosa Diaz.
Present.
Thank you. Ayana Joseph.
Present.
Thank you. Samantha Perdero, excuse me.
Present.
Samantha. Thank you.
Present.
I got you, Samantha. Thank you. Xavier Santiago.
Present.
Thank you. Vinny Torres. Just double checking attendees. Okay. Anne Marie Vasquez.
Present.
Thank you. Nye Whitaker, I believe, is excused for today. Xavier or Adem?
Yes,
You can
she
confirm
is
that Nye
upon
Whitaker is excused for today?
yeah, so she's
Yeah,
at the go
at-
ahead, Adam.
She's at the, I believe, Economic
Oh.
Development Corporation or their African Burial Ground meeting. So I have instructed her that if she provides a written report by the end of the week, that she will be excused and not marked absent for this evening's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Agatha White.
Present.
Thank you, Agatha. And Jason Wu. Just
Absent.
Check. Okay, absent. You have quorum, Chair.
All right, thank you so much. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and was posted online. If there are no objections, we'll adopt the agenda as stated. Committee members, if you wish to object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand to be recognized. Seeing no hands, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. The minutes from our last meeting were distributed to committee members ahead of time by the board office. If there are no objections, we will adopt the minutes from that meeting. Committee members, if you object to adopting the minutes, you may raise your hand to be recognized. Seeing no hands, the minutes from last month's meeting are officially adopted. Tonight's meeting minutes will be taken by my vice chair, Anne Marie Vasquez, and then I will review them for a final edit. Thank you very much, Anne Marie. Appreciate you. And we will be training you up as a little bit of advance as members come on. We will be training you and teaching you how to take minutes so we can continue that pipeline of leadership. And with that, we will carry on. Okay. We have informational updates. So if we have our agenda up here, we have some announcements. The RFP for Harlem African Burial Ground cultural operator is now active, seeking proposals from parties or quote unquote respondents interested in conceptualizing and operating as either tenant of the developer or as owner. A cultural education center and providing programming on the history of the Harlem African Burial Ground and its continued relevance. Next, we have Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, a $5,000 grant opportunity, a 6-week virtual Google AI program for restaurants and hospitality businesses designed specifically for hospitality businesses, including restaurants, coffee shops, bars, and related food and beverage businesses to learn how to use AI tools to improve operations, marketing, customer engagement, and efficiency. Next is free financial literacy workshop hosted by East Harlem Community Partnership, Borican Neighborhood Health Center, and Apple Bank. And then last but not least, we have our Google Career Certificates in preparation for entry-level positions in cybersecurity, digital marketing, e-commerce, IT support, etc. No college degree or relevant experience required. Yes. Anne Marie, you have an announcement?
Yes, the financial literacy workshop that was supposed to happen tomorrow has been canceled, and the new day will be February 3rd. We'll be sending out the new flyer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that update. Okay. And then next on our agenda, hold on. Okay, informational updates. We have business development organizations. Do we have any present? We have Joseph Rogers from Union Settlement. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Hey, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon or good evening, all. Good to see you again. Thanks for having me. Again, my name is Joe Rogers. I'm a senior project consultant with Union Settlement's Department of Economic Development. I'm here just to give a few quick updates on initiatives, including some that are of great concern to the board and to the broader community. First, I just want to share a quick update on our downtown revitalization initiative. This is a $1 million grant that we received from the New York State Department of State in order to repair and beautify storefronts along the 116th Street corridor. We are now in negotiation with the design consultant, the architectural firm we selected, in order to develop an updated timeline for that program. And once we pin that down, we'll have an additional information session about the application through which businesses along the corridor will be able to receive funding to repair awnings, to replace doors and windows, for paint jobs, and so on. So I just want to give you a quick update on that, let you know we're a little behind schedule. It took a little longer than expected to select the architect, but we found a good one, and we're looking forward to sharing more information about the application process soon. I also wanted to share regarding our business attraction program. As many of you know, this is a program designed to fill vacant storefronts in East Harlem. It's an epidemic problem that we have here. And so we underwent a rigorous process to identify businesses, both present businesses in East Harlem and beyond, that could fill those storefronts with some financial support through the Office of Small Business Services, through then council member Diana Ayala. Unfortunately, towards the end of the program, after vetting all of the potential businesses for this program and giving them opportunities to file the necessary paperwork, we only ended up with one grantee. And so one of the things we realized with this program is that there are many businesses that they're not trying to fill storefronts, they're trying to remain in their storefronts. We had an emergency meeting with the chair, with their board chair, with the chair and vice chair of this committee, with other interested and affected entities such as Uptown Grand Central, to figure out how we could develop both short and long-term strategies to keep particularly our legacy businesses that have been here for 5, 10, 20 years in their storefronts in a way that's sustainable and designed to meet the needs of those businesses. So we're in the process of surveying some of those legacy businesses to better understand and analyze the conditions, their needs. And we're finding just provisionally, anecdotally, that many of those businesses are struggling to pay rent. They're struggling with utility bills. And so we are looking forward to continuing this work together with the board and with other entities to figure out how we can best support those businesses and secure funding and technical support as needed to sustain them. Because obviously those businesses that have enriched our community through their contributions, that reflect the character of the neighborhood, they're very important to East Harlem. So more on that soon, but just want to let you know that work is in progress. And then briefly, we have a financial management workshop series for small businesses in collaboration with Amalgamated Bank that's coming up next month. We'll have a flyer and RSVP page very soon for that. And just wanted to ask if the committee and the board would be willing to distribute the flyer for that opportunity to ensure that more small businesses have support around debt management, the use of AI to advance business goals, marketing strategies, and then taxes and compliance, which is particularly relevant and urgent for many of our businesses in this forthcoming tax season. So just wanted to give you a heads up about that and ask for your collaboration and partnership in spreading the word. And then finally, I just wanted to share that we're looking to ramp up our social media campaigns. Many of you are familiar with our Who's on Second campaign that's highlighting businesses along the Second Avenue corridor that are impacted by the construction disruptions. We recently released a video on exclusive arrivals, and we're about to have one debut on Nocciola. And so if you have other businesses along that corridor that may benefit from this types of creative, innovative video distribution, highlighting the amazing resources and products that they offer, I encourage you to please email us at economicdevelopment@unionsettlement.org. Again, that's economicdevelopment@unionsettlement.org. And I'm happy to plug that in the chat as well as my own email address. And with that, I'll stop and see if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, and it was a very productive meeting. And actually, that's going to dovetail with the later bit of our agenda. I have Emery as a question, and then one of our former board members, Giselle Malavé. Emery.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for that information, and thank you for meeting with us to discuss these businesses that are having troubles right now. A couple of things. Do we know who the grantee is for that project? Will we know who it is?
We will release, yeah, we will soon
Okay.
release that information. And the reason I mentioned that specific program, it actually ties to, and I didn't make that connection, it ties to this effort to keep businesses in their storefront. So we're looking to repurpose some of the funding for that program, not to fill vacant storefronts, although there may be another round down the road, but to keep businesses in their storefronts and hopefully get them to the point where they can thrive.
Two more things. Do you think it would be useful to meet? I mean, I know we met and we talked about that repurposing the money. Do you think it's uh useful to meet with those that already closed down just to see a sense of what happened? And the amalgamated bank workshop, did you have a date?
We do. We have 4 dates, and we're just waiting to pin down from the partner, just final confirmation. So the first one will be on February 9th. It'll be on the 9th, the 12th, the 23rd, and the 26th. They'll all be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and they will be held at Sendero Verde at 71 East 111th Street. So
Okay.
again, we're just pinning down the flyer and those details with our partner, and then we'll release it and we'll make sure that you get a copy. And I hope you'll be willing to distribute it through
Yes.
CB11's newsletter.
Count on me to distribute the flyer and also the video for the Second Avenue campaign. Would you be sending it out via email last?
Yeah, we send it out in our newsletter. I'm happy to also add, I'd recommend, I'm going to put the economic development at unionsettlement.org email address in the chat. If you don't receive our economic development newsletters, I strongly encourage you to send an email to that address so we can add you. We've been promoting that campaign for exclusive arrivals. And also, so are you familiar with our On the Map series, our Emmy? We actually won an Emmy
Yes.
a couple of years ago. So those we're all distributing through our newsletter and on social media. But happy to add you if you're not receiving those newsletters.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Giselle, you had a question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chair Santiago. Thank you, board, for having me. Joe, we haven't formally met, but thank you. I think all of these initiatives are great for East Harlem. I wanted to piggyback off of the second suggestion that Anne Marie had. I think it would be great to connect with those businesses that have closed already, or pretty much in a situation where there's just kind of no turning back for them, to possibly learn from their past mistakes, and then anyone else coming in possibly considering that storefront to open up a business, it would be helpful. A lot of the times, if it comes from, an organization such as Union Settlement, and you guys are obviously boots on the ground and doing this every single day, people feel a little bit, I would say, more comfortable in a conversation. Sometimes surveys are great, I think, but something personal would help. I have a restaurant myself on 116th Street. So I'll be looking out for your flyers, and yes, thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. Thank you, Anne Marie, and thank you for seconding it, Giselle. Is that something that you all would be willing to help us to partner to pull together to help convene some of those businesses that have closed in recent years, maybe since the pandemic, to learn their lessons and apply them in developing the strategies that we're beginning to
Absolutely.
outline?
Be more than
Yes.
pleased to.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yep, I'll bring that back to Michelle Cruz and we'll get to work on that. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Do we have any other business development organizations on? Just double checking. I know Uptown Grand Central will be on in a little bit, and then all right, we'll move on to our workforce development. I have Rosalind Almonte. Do you have some updates for us? And
Hi, yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, and hold on just 2 seconds. Allison Thomas from Union Settlement, are you just observing, letting Joe kind of run the ball on that? I just wanted to be respectful. Sorry, I just saw you.
Hi, no, it's okay. We're actually two different departments.
Do you mind, Rosalind, if I let them finish up? I apologize for not seeing that.
Yes.
All right, thanks. All right, go ahead, Allison. I apologize. Thank you.
Sorry. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm a separate department from Joe. I'm from the adult education department.
Okay.
So I really appreciate the chance to come on and check in with everyone. For us, from a more workforce development standpoint, I just wanted to share that we have ongoing adult education classes for GED preparation. A lot of the folks coming from the neighborhood that are speaking with us are folks that are looking to get back into the workforce and finding that it's very difficult to find things without a GED. So we provide free GED classes to anyone over 18. We have no age cap, which is helpful for some folks, different from other programs. And we also have ESL classes. We have a resource fair coming up in February, yes, on February 6th. And then we also provide a job fair in May. So I'll definitely be sharing some of those flyers I've already shared with Khalid. But once we have the date for the job fair as well, I'll be sharing that out. For anyone that is interested in adult education classes or attending any resource fairs, they can email adulted, which is ADULTED @unionsettlement.org, and we can provide any information about upcoming GED classes, English classes, resource fairs, free to the community as well, one coming up on February 6th, as well as our job fair, career fair coming up. We also will be offering AI classes in the near future, just an intro to AI for folks that are curious for how that may improve their personal work or in the workforce itself. So just sharing with that, and I'll provide flyers and updates once those are settled. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I have a question from Adam.
Yeah, hi, how are you? Thank you. I was wondering, when you distribute your flyers, is there any chance that in some of the places you could distribute them would be at like some of the facilities we have for substance abuse treatment or mental health facilities? I feel like a lot of those people could be looking to, they might have skills, they might already have that education, but for those who don't, who are seeking help and looking to, in addition to getting that help, reintegrate themselves into the workforce if they're not, that might be useful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're kind of a small team. So anyone that reaches out to us with the adult ed email address, which I will share in the chat, we'll send the flyers and we'll provide information. We have an online application that people can use to get the ball rolling. So I'm happy to share with anyone flyers, the link to the application, anything like that. We're just kind of a little short staff for distribution, but
We'll help out how we can then. Thank you. We'll try to send that stuff your way. Thank you.
amazing. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We have another question from our Youth and Education Committee Chair, Asher Rodriguez. Asher? your question?
Hi, I was just more extending the invitation for them to come present at like a future youth and education meeting, because one of our goals this year is to try to include a lot more adult education and emphasizing all learners. So yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. I'll put my direct email and our general email for sharing about classes in the chat, and please feel free to reach out to me. I'd very much be happy to be there, because it is all students can be, or all ages can be learners, and we definitely see that adults need even more support sometimes coming back to school. So I'm happy to share information with anyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Allison. I appreciate that. And now we'll move on to Rosalind Almonte. Thank you, from Workforce One.
Thank you so much. So I'm from Workforce One, particularly the Upper Manhattan Center, which is in central Harlem. We are over on 215 West 125th Street, open Monday through Friday. We have kind of like a host of services that we offer to folks, including financial counseling, career development, individualized career advisement sessions and workshops that they can participate in, as well as other types of services like resume building workshops. We have a fully staffed resource room that you can come in, do job applications, any sort of tweaks to maybe resumes or cover letters or things like that that folks may need. We have all sorts of different flyers that we can share with you all, so that you can distribute as well. I also wanted to mention that we we, kind of on the job seeker side, we provide a lot of those supports. And then on the employer side, we work with businesses across the 5 boroughs. Primarily, we want to support Harlem businesses since we are in Harlem, to, kind of source, pipeline, and staff, folks from the community within different businesses. And so we have a group of recruiters and account managers that work really hard to kind of bring forth incredible local candidates to businesses that are interested in hiring. And so we connect with businesses one-on-one, assess your needs, and kind of bring forth a pipeline that is appropriate for what you're looking for. We are under the department, NYC Department of Small Business Services, so you'll often see SBS and Workforce One kind of in a similar bubble, but we work more on kind of that employer staffing and also job seeker support and so if you have any questions for me, I know there's a lot of services from, again, financial counseling to resume workshops. There are language services, and we have a really robust community partnerships department that can connect folks with the right resources if that's not something that we can provide on site. So that's a little bit about what we do. And Marie, I see your hand up, and I just want to leave room for any questions that may be coming up.
Thank you for sharing. My question is, do you guys come out and do presentations or workshops at organizations in the community?
Yes, our community partnerships department, we have a robust calendar. They have many hundreds and hundreds of community-based organizations that they work with across Manhattan. Our other centers, there's 18 Workforce One centers across the 5 boroughs. There are 2 in technically 3 in Manhattan, 1 in Washington Heights, 1 in Lower Manhattan. That's specific to healthcare sector jobs. And then the one here in Harlem is open to all sectors. But yes, our community partnerships department, they again partner with several different CBOs to host job fairs and recruitment activities. So yes, and I can connect you with Radia Barnes,
yes,
who
please.
manages the community partnerships.
Do you work with seniors and with healthcare providers?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Definitely healthcare providers. And I know we have an active partnership with an organization called Maturity Works that often provides supports for older adults, among several other different types of organizations. But one of our staff members that has been with us now for a year actually was an intern through Maturity Works. So yes, we do a lot of different types of partnership and kind of integration with different CBOs that service all types of different communities.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Are there any other questions? I don't see any. Anne-Marie, you have a question? Or no, that's old hand. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I got a text from Carrie King. Thank you very much for being with us. And please share that information, share contact information if you mentioned it already in the chat so people can copy and paste that. Yeah, so that's helpful for us to keep the ball moving. And thank you very much for being here. And next, I'm just going to, Vinny Torres, who is one of our committee members and board members, and also the head of Positive Workforce, if you want to give us a brief update on some of the stuff that's been going on in the community and the work.
Yes, thank you, Xavier. So just for this year, again, we're doing another round of cohorts in partnership with Lowe's. So we're putting together some skilled trade craft training. So we're doing training for electrical, plumbing, and carpentry. This year, we're expanding those programming to include HVAC and appliance repair. So I'm going to forward information to the committee here so that we can get the flyer that goes out and some of the additional literature that goes out for some of these cohorts. It's going to be a series of about 20 cohorts over the range of 2 years. related to craft trade training for those who may be interested in obtaining general knowledge regarding skilled trades, potentially, and more for also those that are looking to seek entry and pathways into the construction trade workforce.
That's great. Any questions? No. Not seeing any. Thank you very much, Vinny, for that update. And also, too, thank you for giving back with the Three Kings celebration that was at Johnson. It was wonderful to be there at that. Adem joined me, a few others. So thank you. All right, let's just double check. I don't see any other hands. Okay, wonderful. We're going to move along. Like I said, Carrie King will be on in a little bit. She is attending the Harlem African American Burial Ground meeting with updates right now, and I've just messaged her to let her know just to come on when she can. So, are there any other arts or cultural organizations? I know I was just on with El Museo de Barrios Community Advisory Council. Their meeting is still ongoing right now. It should be ending very soon. They were doing a recap of last year. And they're going to give an updated report that we can provide in February. But they covered everything from the Three Kings Day Parade to Dia de los Muertos, other events like the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival and the like. There was also a brief discussion touching on the ICE raids and about there's a lot of concern of what's going to happen in the next several months with the uptick of activity. They also had a ICE awareness forum that was held at El Museo, and I believe Adem was there. And our council member, Elsie Encarnacion. I'm not sure if any other board members. Rosa, did you attend that or not? I know you try to be everywhere.
Russell Schuler.
Russell Schuler is there. Thank you very much. So thank you to our board members who attended that. And excellent timing. Now we can go on to Carrie King from Uptown Grand Central for her. Yeah, just in time before presentations and discussions. My message must hit in the ether web, right? So let's welcome along.
Thanks,
come on,
everybody.
Carrie, you're
So I'm just coming from the Harlem African Burial Ground RFP meeting, which was very interesting. And I think Nye Whitaker is coming from there as well at some point. But that's in progress along East 125th underneath the old MTA bus depot site. So Uptown Grand Central, currently, you guys might have seen in newsletters and on social media, we have been serving as the incubator for the creation of the East Harlem 125th Street Business Improvement District, East Harlem's first business improvement district. And so that kicked off on January 1st with our clean team expanding the district. So not only are they cleaning East 125th between 5th and 2nd, but also parts of 126th, 127th, 128th, 124th, 3rd Avenue. And so I walked the route with them for the first few days, and it takes a good 3 hours to do one loop. So we're cleaning a lot more. Before we expanded our route, we were getting about 350 trash bags a week. Now, I think last week we were up to about 475, so almost 500 trash bags a week. So we're cleaning a lot more. And the bid organization in and of itself is separate from Uptown Grand Central. So it has a separate board, and that's in development currently as well. Also, we have the holiday lights, the winter lights along East 125th Street that are going to be on through the end of February. DOT has added a requirement that we now pay for the electricity, which has been a fun little thing to deal with in the past month. So I'm dealing with Con Ed and DOT. So we hope we can continue to provide that service for everyone. It's something that DOT has been cracking down on, kind of made a new requirement for a lot of chambers of commerce and business improvement districts that we now pay for the light that's coming out of the street pole, which is super great. But we are going to continue to work through that to make sure that the lights can be on for everybody, because it's not only festive. The reason we try to keep them a lot longer than I think some other districts do is because East 125th is so dark, and it actually adds a safety element. So I think the city thinks of it as a lens of holiday only, but actually in communities such as ours, the lights are necessary for more than Christmas. So we're working through that. And then there's a lot of things that are on the docket coming up. We're working with TBO Harlem, the Best of Harlem, to produce. The city has New York City Restaurant Weeks, which are these, like prefix 3-course meals. The participation fee for New York City Restaurant Week is about $1,000. Some of you who have restaurants may know even better than me, but that is definitely cost prohibitive for every business in East Harlem and actually most in Upper Manhattan. So during the pandemic, entrance into NYC Restaurant Week was made free by NYC and Company, but now it's back to being paid. So this year, if you look through the list of businesses that are participating in New York City Restaurant Week, there are 0 from East Harlem that are participating this time. So we're working on creating things that are a little bit smaller in scope: Burger Week, Wing Week, Sweets Week, and those will be more like a much smaller entry fee, as well as a lot more promo, and also probably a lot more affordable to people in the community rather than a multi-course dinner that people have to pay for. So that's coming up soon, as well as a celebration of the Harlem African Burial Ground and Black History Month with Elmendorf Reformed Church and council member Encarnacion. But I'm not going to keep talking because Xavier, I don't want to take up the whole meeting, and I could, but those are just a few highlights of what's been going on.
Thank you, Carrie. We appreciate your updates and working with you for the many years. So thank you very much. Yeah. So with that, do we have any other organizations that are on, whether business development, workforce development, or arts and culture? Please raise your hand. Okay. Seeing none, we'll now move on to presentations and discussions. First up is committee engagement and outreach. Forming a practice for committee members to reach out to at least 3 Community District 11 businesses per month. One of the things we talked about early on, and with union settlement, we reacted very quickly as we've been seeing so many businesses close, they're shuttered. We dealt with others that were pivoting to using alternative forms of what could only be called nightlife entertainment in the neighborhood, and was not received well by the community, but many are struggling to survive and thinking of innovative ways to approach the challenge. For us at this committee, I think it's very important to have a boots on the ground approach to it. And I wish we were all in person on the table, but that will be next month. I think one of the things we have discussed, Anne-Marie, Adem, and others, is that we need to be plugged into all of our businesses, not just restaurants, but the corner stores, the little dollar stores, the hardware stores, our grocery stores, all of them, and really figuring out what their problems are. For those of you, we did mention that Lexington Pizza Parlor on 101st in Lexington, it was a fan favorite for well over a decade. How many years was it they were there, Carrie? Was it 12, 11, 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. So a lot of the issues they experienced were due to the increase in property taxes. And what we discussed also, so everyone's aware, is that year 1 of our previous comptroller, Brad Lander, talked about how Upper Manhattan is not paying enough property taxes. And for those of you who are aware of what commercial leases have, they have an appropriation clause, whereas when the taxes go up, they can distribute that tax increase to their commercial tenants. And landlords really have limited choices. It either goes to those market rate tenants or to the commercial tenants. It's to kind of distill it in its most simple form. That is a burden oftentimes that businesses can't bear in this neighborhood and keep prices low. And so as a result, and this was the case with Lexington Pizza Parlor, they just had too high a tax burden and couldn't stay open. Much to the chagrin of the previous owner, they opened it up to lease and actually dropped the price that they had requested back to was below the original pay that they were commanding per month. So it's a challenge for our businesses, because the longer business is there, it becomes a neighborhood gem and one that people frequent on a regular. Other restaurants and businesses such as cafes have also experienced the same phenomena. So what we're advising and discuss with the DEM and others is that going by all of our businesses and getting a collection of their information, where they're located, the name, the DBA, the phone number, the owner, and their top issue that they're battling right now. So we can get a real collection of information that we can share with our other partners, such as Union Settlement and others, and combat the problems we're facing. So that is the first thing, and we will be setting up I'll get to you. I see your hand, Nye. Thank you. We will be setting up a spreadsheet that will create that contact list. So again, and the expectations of this committee will be per month, collect 3 of them. You'll have it listed in our drive. You'll have a hyperlink. You can pop it open, say hi to the business owner, get to know them, and then just say, hey, I serve Community Board 11. I'm on the Eco Dev Committee. We'd like to really get plugged in, get you signed up on our mailing list, and we'd like to hear from you if you have any issues. And here's our contact information so that if you have a challenge or a problem down the road before it becomes insurmountable, we recommend that you get in touch with us now so we can collect all of your information and be, thank you, Carrie, who just sent me a little message. Appreciate that. They have a starter spreadsheet, which is fantastic. And so it's important for us to share this information and help our businesses not just survive, but thrive. With that, I have a question from Nye Whitaker. Nye, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just 2 quick things. One is, I feel like a long time ago we had business cards. I might be dating myself from years ago. I see Adem shaking his head. He remembers as well. I don't think that there's a rush on it, but since we have our chair, in addition to our committee chair here, we may want to think about as we're going into outreach, having that once again. I know that there's been some talk on other committees about doing more outreach, and it'd be great if people know who we are and they have a way that we can leave something if the owner's not there or the manager's not there with the staff, for them to be in touch with us. Secondly, I was wondering also, and Carrie, you know this about me, whether or not we could be coming with something. We want them to tell us something, but it'd be great if we were bringing something to them, whether there's a 1 sheet from Uptown Grand and Union Settlement that has a list of, key, who the Department of Buildings is, who the fire department is, who's the chief of the 2-3 or the 2-5, just something where we're bringing a resource and we're showing and providing value when we show up. Also just to build trust. There's a lot of distrust in our community. And, this kind of veil that the community board is there to, not give them their liquor license or to, only come when there's 311 complaints. And so it'd be great if we were showing up with some value, a 1 sheet, a flyer, a something where we were providing the resources that are available to us and how we could be there in partnership to support their success. I think would be super helpful, and I'm happy to volunteer if needed to work with anyone to put together just a quick little CB11 branded sheet that we can hand out to them. And again, there might be something that exists between Uptown Grand and the team over at Union Settlement, but we should be coming there with something to share that provides value.
I thank you, Nye. It's a great recommendation. And if you want to undertake that challenge, once I acknowledge Carrie, but I think that'd be great that we can add a hot sheet for them as well as one of our pamphlets then just when we show up. And I'll talk to them about cards after the meeting and what avenues we can pursue given the costs. But I do like both of those ideas. And I think if you can set the task on that, it'd be fantastic. And then we can get the print ups from the office as well as the information to then distribute as we go out and just hold on to it at home. Or if you're coming home, you have it in your purse or your rucksack, you can just pop by 3 and then say hi and collect their information. So that's a wonderful recommendation. Appreciate that, Nye. Carrie.
Yeah, I was just gonna throw out there what I basically just texted you is that both Uptown and Union Settlement have lots of spreadsheets of small businesses. Joe is probably gonna nod to that. And a lot of times the businesses that are easiest to do the outreach to are ones that have like are a little bit more branded, but like restaurants and businesses that are trying to get their name out there. Things like bodegas and laundromats and like kind of more run-of-the-mill are a little bit more difficult to do outreach sometimes because to Nye's point, what are you offering them? I think they see that Union and Uptown are offering a lot of marketing capacity and things like that. But so we do have spreadsheets that exist, and there are definitely more businesses that need outreach. So I'm happy to work in whatever way to help figure out who's going where and making sure we're getting it all organized. Because that would be amazing. We always need outreach help because there's only like 4 of us that do this in East Harlem. People.
No, it's great, Carrie, and that's the bar is pretty low with just 3. I mean, I went through what was it on Saturday? We had the ribbon cutting for the boys club with their new pool, and literally hit 3 businesses on the way. Just on the way home. So it can be that simple. But if you want to do more, we encourage that as well. But I think start the low-hanging fruit. If it's on your commute, track it. And the big thing is once we collect all this information, you can actually program it in with Google to see where everything is located in a neighborhood. That's a fantastic resource. So thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments with that before I move on to the next agenda item? Okay. All right. So make sure you go to your Google Drive at the beginning of February. We're going to have the Google Sheet set up, and that you will see the information and something that we'll be able to eventually share and upload with Carrie and Joe from Union Settlement and Uptown Grand Central, and also to Nye once we have more information. If you can set the task, put it also into our Economic Development and Culture Committee folder so we all have access to that, and then we can print up those hot sheets, grab pamphlets, and just go to town. All right. So I really love the enthusiasm. Next up is committee discussion about a job fair, logistics and planning for this year. We're looking at an anticipated time frame of May or June 2026. So the last time we had a job fair was 2012, if I recall correctly, for those of us that were on that board that long ago. And it was a smashing success, believe it or not, in so much that Charlie Rangel, the late Charlie Rangel, as our former congressman, saw me a month after he held his. He was very salty about it and said, "You had more people at yours than I did at mine." And I'm not, he never let me forget it all those years. And, but he was also very proud in the same way. And I think that's something that speaks elements of our individual power to coalesce around an issue. We have already had preliminary conversations last year. Mount Sinai wants to be plugged in on this. I spoke briefly with Metropolitan. For example, with Mount Sinai, despite everything to the side with the nurses' strike, they want to create a pipeline of employment. You can go through a one-year training certificate. Just have a high school diploma or a GED, 1 year of a training certificate, and start working as a phlebotomist or someone in a clerical position. There are different options ahead for our youth who want to get well-paying jobs. The other thing they are interested in leading in, just as an aside, and since Asher is on, they are interested in forming a specialized high school. And they want to partner long-term with that goal as well. So Asher, I wanted to share that real quick with, since you're on, and Adem, I think you and I may have talked about that briefly. So I think this is something long-term, but with a job fair, the big thing is we want to make sure people can find gainful employment and resources. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a long conversation with Vinny over here as well, included in that process. So there are a lot of great construction jobs in and around New York City. And I think it's important that our youth and our adults get access to those jobs. I'd love to hear people's general feedback. We did, in the time when we got this off the ground, we had partners over at East River at the Esplanade over where Costco is. And they were great partners too. So I'm going to reach out to BDG, Bloomfield Devil Group, and others to see if there are opportunities there with some of our former partners in the private sector. So with that, I'll go to Nye Whitaker, who has her hand raised.
I defer to Vinny if he had something he wanted to say first.
Vinny?
Yeah, no, for the job fair, absolutely. So, as we look to increase participation in the industry, and as the Second Avenue subway project seems to be coming more online, we're seeing a lot more opportunities available for those in the immediate community here in our district. Particular emphasis is being made on local hiring and community hiring, right, on these type of projects. So definitely an outreach for this job fair will be good. Definitely will be the attendance and participating at this job fair. Definitely, continue to work with those in the community to see how we can work together and collaborate to connect a lot of those, especially youth at risk, women in construction, which always seems to be the lowest demographic group represented in the construction industry, which we continue to advocate for. And, just many of those that might want to look for a career pathway into the building trades.
So I was just going to add
ahead.
that. I'm sorry.
Go
Did
ahead,
you want to
Nye.
say something first, Xavier? I apologize.
No. I
Okay.
just wanted to say thank you. Just wait for me to recognize everyone. Just,
Sure.
I think, go ahead, Nye, and then I'll go to Adem. So
Thank you. Sorry about that. I had yielded my time. So I think that I'm seeing a lot of job fairs across our district and just across the city because there is so much need. I just wanted to encourage the committee to consider being a little bit more targeted. Sometimes these jobs fairs are like everything for everybody, and then the people who attend don't really get what they need from it. So if we're going to have something general, if we could then break it up where there's like maybe a healthcare or for young people or for people who may have lost their jobs in public service. So like if we have something that's a big general job fair, if maybe we have like little sections or corridors or color coordinated or something, culinary arts, whatever, return veterans or whatever it may be, because these job fairs, because there's such great need. I've been to 3 already in just the month of January, and it was like, I apologize for using this word, but it was a free for all because there was so much need. And so I just want to encourage that either we get specific and we do something that is to one, either target population. I heard Vinny say like, youth who are at risk 16 to 24, or we do people who may be pivoting or have gotten a recent layoff, or we do construction or hospitality or culinary as a topic. But if we can get granular, great. But if we are going to go wide, that we have some specific corridors or tracks that allow people to get what they need out of it based on their skill set or area of interest, so that people get value for the work and the effort that I know our great committee and board would put into it.
Great. Thank you for the recommendation. Appreciate that, Naim. That's the reason we're having the conversation. So, Dem?
Thank you. No, I think that's a great idea. I think if we can figure out how to start to maybe do these regularly, and I won't put that pressure on Xavier, we can go more that direction. Although if we do a bigger one to start, so we feel like people are more included, I agree with Nye that we need to kind of have separate groups. With that said, I can't make promises, but I think for healthcare, I could get Mount Sinai to be interested in participating on from that extent. And then a more general comment. I think this is a great idea. With that said, I think even more important than, or maybe as important as the fair itself, is the follow-up that's done afterwards. So we can see exactly what results this, within whatever privacy things have to be done. But it'd be nice to know how many people got an interview or a job because of this fair. So we know like how effective it is. So I think that's just something to consider. But thank you, Xavier. I think it's a great idea.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. With that, are there any other thoughts, considerations? We have a couple of great ideas and on the table already to be more focused, to be very intentional with the demographics we're bringing to the table and making sure we're catering to their needs. So to give you an example, when we had ours back in 2012, we had a great deal of local hiring that occurred, including at Costco and other places, as an example. Mount Sinai, who said earlier, those are ongoing conversations, but they're completely committed to whatever our pursuits are, which we're very thankful for that relationship, having been here for a century and a quarter. And we'll continue pushing the agenda forward. But again, I want you to think within your personal Rolodex of people, businesses, networks, who you think could come to the table. So when we have our meeting next month, we can be more thoughtful and again, start sketching out the timeline, the agenda, and begin our outreach so we can all be prepared. Yes, Carrie.
Sorry for the hand, but it was pretty powerful last Friday. Senator Clear and a bunch of other elected officials had a clean slate clinic. There's this new thing called Clean Slate that is going to go into effect in November of 2027. But a lot of people don't know about it. What they can do is they can seal your records. So if you've been involved, if you've been in prison, depending on the level of what you were in for, your record can be sealed. And I think we know that is having a record is a huge barrier to employment for a lot of people in East Harlem. So if there's a way to integrate those two things, she was able to bring together a bunch of lawyers, community service society, a bunch of like legal aid kind of groups, and they can actually go through a person's record and make sure there's nothing that's going to trip them up from having their record sealed in November of 2027. And so I was able to bring some people with me to the fair, and they got their records lined up to be sealed. And it's just really powerful and transformative when people can get that taken away from their job search, that like that cannot be a factor in them getting hired. So either in conjunction or partnership or whatever. I just thought I would throw that out there because it was pretty powerful last Friday to see that happening for people.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for that information, Kara. That's extremely helpful. With that, are there any other questions regarding the job fair?
I just put some notes in the chat, Chair.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. That's helpful. All right. Okay, great. We'll check in with the Manhattan Borough President's Office as well and our other CBs. I know we just had Borough Board last week. Thank you, Adam, for some of the updates over the phone with that, and I think that'll be something else to touch base on. All right. With that, we'll move the agenda along to any old business. Not seeing any old business, any new business.
Can I just double check one thing? I just came with Carrie from the African American Burial Ground presentation. I will provide a written report to this committee and to our larger executive team so that they have it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Adam. I just was going to ask a question. You go
Yeah,
first.
on that note, well, no, to you, it's up to you. If you want to just give a brief report right now, I'll spare you the having to write a written report since you came on. So you
Even
could do that.
better.
There you
I
go.
was just, my question was, I just didn't know if
Making so
Carrie
much-
had already did it because I
Carrie
did see
gave-
it on the agenda. That was my question. I didn't want to be
She gave a brief
duplicative.
update, as Carrie is wonderful and always does, but don't worry if you repeat anything, but if you want to just give a brief couple-minute report, that could be in lieu of a written report. Thank you.
That's
so
super
much,
helpful.
Adam. I appreciate it. So
Of
hey,
course, thank-
everybody. I had spoken to both Xavier and to Adam about making sure that we had a CB11M representative at the African American Burial Ground meeting that was today. It was scheduled to be in person at Julio de Burgos and went to virtual because of the weather. There were 40 participants on and a great array of questions. A couple of things from our CB11 perspective, one of which came from our previous presentation that they did, which was just about bringing more of the northern part of our district into conversation and engagement around the current status and the future development. There was a lot of conversation about this RFP for the operators and just really stressing this importance that even though they're looking for an operator separate from the developer, that there needs to be a holistic approach to the way in which there are cultural sensitivities around the development of this project. And then there was a lot of great conversations regarding questions. One neat question, and I think the team would appreciate this. I was talking to our board about this earlier in terms of maritime development. There was a question about whether there'll be waterfront access as they do the East River development to the site, because that could also lead to some tourism benefits. And we were just talking about partnerships, how and ways in which people can partnership. So a question that I raised was whether or not they might be interested in expanding the task force or creating a CAB, Community Advisory Board. Right now, the task force that's leading this effort is just 4 people. And this is going to be a very huge undertaking. And there was a lot of conversation and concern about the budget that's been attributed to this. So right now, there's a promise for $1 million investment and then $1 million again over time each year. But in comparison, the African American Burial Ground in Lower Manhattan was overall a $275 million project, of which $5 million was set aside for the historic kind of cultural reference of it, and another 60 million spent on kind of the process of developing that. And so we just were making sure that there was equity in whatever the investment that is coming from EDC and from the city for our historic site in this African American Burial Ground as it proceeds. And so that is where we are, where we left off. They're having another info session on February 2nd, virtually at 3 o'clock. I did also recommend that if they wanted more input from the community, they had a 6 o'clock on a Monday of a snowstorm, a 3 o'clock that's going to be on February 2nd, which is another Monday, whether or not there could be an opportunity for a Saturday or a Sunday session to allow more of our working class community to be able to participate, hear an update, ask their questions and get more engaged, because we did all agree, many of the people on there, that there needs to be more outreach in the northern part of our district to those that are closest to where the site actually is. So I hope that, Carrie, please, if I forgot anything, welcome to add.
That was very comprehensive. Thank you, Nye. That's super helpful. I really appreciate that. That's something we have been spearheading for a long time. And finally, I can't even begin to tell you. So thank you very much, everyone. With that, there's no old business, and there's any new business. I see that there's hands raised. Then I appreciate everyone for a very efficient meeting. Thank you so much, and look forward to continuing the good work. Do by February 1st, check our Google Drive for the spreadsheet. And so we can start collecting business information, and we will continue working. Nye, thank you for being willing to do that. We'll get you additional information, but create a hot sheet and we can get to task. So thank you everyone for a productive meeting. And with that, Khalid, please call the roll.
Yes, will do. Rosa Diaz. Rosa.
Present.
Thank you, Rosa. Ayana Joseph.
Present.
Thank you. Samantha Pedrero.
Present.
Thank you. Xavier Santiago.
Present.
Thank you. Vinny Torres.
Present.
Thank you. Anne-Marie Vasquez. Anne-Marie?
She's there. She's trying to.
She might have left. Okay, I see. Thank you,
She's
Anne-Marie.
here. She's
Nye Whitaker.
Present.
Thank you, Nye. Agatha White.
Present.
Thank you. And Jason Will is still absent. Yes, that's it, Chair.
All right, with that, it is 7:33 and the meeting is adjourned. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow at full board.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you.
Is that
Good night,
virtual?
everyone.
Is that correct? It's virtual tomorrow?
It is correct.
Yeah,
It
it's
is virtual.
100% virtual,
Thank you.
everybody. Yep.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone.
Night. Thank you.
Nice.
Bye.
Good night.